you doing today?
Man, I'm so good. I'm just soaking it up right now. It's good, man.
So many good conversations, man.
Yeah.
Bro, listen, I'm doing great, man. I'm here, Colorado Springs. It's my first time here. I'm loving it. I was telling Taylor, and I'm embarrassed to say this, when I got off the airplane in Denver, I thought I was where I needed to be. So I go out to the front of the airport, and I'm looking for the shuttle, and I literally thought it would be somebody with my name. I didn't know it was a distance, you know what I'm saying, from Denver. So I'm going up to all the people, and I'm like, I gotta go to Colorado Springs. So I got scared because this lady was like, you probably should have got on another plane. She was like, Colorado Springs is like 2 hours from here.
Oh, nah.
It's not that far, but yeah.
I called Taylor, and Taylor was just like, dude, at best it's 1 hour.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was just scared, man, because I'm just like, holy crap, man, I hope I didn't, miss a connecting flight. Like, that stuff could just be like it could be a whole day thing. So, but now that I've been to, been here for a few days, man, I love it here. The views, the people, the calmness of the city. Like, man, this is my type of vibe. Like, I love it here.
Yeah, we just got done meeting with an Inherent owner. His name's Ian Lee. He actually helped me come up with the entire idea for Inherent.
Yeah.
Just had a great lunch with that dude.
Ian's,
Where'd you guys go?
We went to Dos Santos.
Oh, yeah.
Taco spot.
Yeah.
I love that
Great
spot.
food. Ian's a solid guy, man.
Yeah.
Ian is a solid dude, man. Just talking to him, just like listening to his experience, man. Like, he's a solid dude, man. Like, the thing is that I love about you all as a brand. I was telling Steve this earlier. What I really like about you all as a brand, unlike so many people make the mistake of do it yourself, DIY. And my thinking on that, I was literally just telling him this like 2 minutes ago. I think you should do it yourself if you know what the hell you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, so many people make the mistake of taking on too many responsibilities. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. Like, of course, as a business owner, you're going to have to wear multiple hats, but there are too many people trying to think about things that they're not really qualified to think about. Like, the fact that Steve is a bomb ass art director is phenomenal. You have a person here who has 8 hours a day or however long he's here to think about art for the brand. You have a person to think about outreach for 8 hours a day. It makes you so much more efficient, opposed to you trying to do it yourself and you can only give it 90 minutes a day. How can that reach its full potential? So I love the fact, I love what you guys got going on here because you're very serious and, the right people are in place. That's why the content is phenomenal, the clothes, the staff, the whole 9 yards. It all starts from the top. So I want to give you guys a shout out for that because you guys are very serious about this. And that's what I love most about being here, being able to work with, 5-6 people on staff and the mindset's the exact same. That is just not common nowadays. So that's really cool, man. I definitely want to give Steve a shout out for being a bomb ass art director, Taylor for putting all this together. It's phenomenal, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
That's
thank
funny.
you very much.
Steve and I actually had kind of a similar conversation this morning.
Oh, wow. Okay.
About having to basically just, what you need to get done, but that you shouldn't be doing all of it. You should be spreading as far, as you can, as wide as a net as you can, but you still have final say on everything. And you're still like, this is how I need it to look.
Absolutely.
But it's just I think I use the metaphor, like someone's getting the ingredients for your food.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're still cooking it.
And this is the thing. And Steve, you're a musician, so I know you'll appreciate this.
Yeah.
I think as far as music, you all know I'm a musician as well. As far as music goes, I think a lot of times one of the best or one of the greatest debates I've heard often as a musician is who was better, Prince or Michael Jackson, right? I've heard that. Now, me being a musician, it's a little biased because I know musically, as Prince being a guy that can play all the instruments, of course, that's extremely impressive.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, Michael Jackson, where I think his genius lied was he realized he needed the help. And he went and got Quincy Jones.
Right.
And that's why he sold more albums than anybody. See, even though in my personal opinion, I personally believe that Prince is more talented than Michael Jackson. Sure. I personally believe that. But Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson because he solicited the right help. He was able to put the right people in place, opposed to a guy like Prince who's playing all the instruments. That's a lot of decisions to make.
Yeah.
It's a lot of decisions to make. So I think that's one of the main reasons why Michael Jackson was always able to outsell Prince. And there are other factors in there, but one of the main factors, I believe, is because Michael Jackson, he left a lot of the harder decisions to someone who was qualified to deal with them. I mean, you have to think Quincy Jones, this dude was arranging Frank Sinatra's music.
Yep.
He arranged stuff for Frank Sinatra. I mean, this is the guy that came up with Fresh Prince.
Right.
So, I mean, that goes to, I mean, those are two examples that are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but I love to see people that are serious enough about their craft to say, I need help, opposed to just trying to do it yourself. And it's just something subpar that's not impactful and no one's really inspired by it.
What a distinction of like caring about your craft so much that you will get help.
Yes.
You know, instead, because I feel like most people, I'm guilty of this as well, it's backwards.
Yeah.
Like I care so much, I'll do it all myself, you know? So that's a really interesting distinction. I think like super important.
Well, you know, and this is what's interesting too. And this is the flip side of a guy like a Prince or a Stevie Wonder. Their mindset, because I've met guys like that. Their mindset is, listen, I know how I want it to sound. Opposed to me explaining that to someone else, I can just do it myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the mindset for a lot of people. But it's like, would you rather do it or would you rather just let a guy do it who does that every day, all day? That probably would make more sense.
Yeah.
To me, at least.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get that. Do you think the not willing to explain what you want, like how would you label that?
What you mean when you say, how would I label it?
Like as behavior, like, do you think it's lazy? Do you think it kind of is
Prideful,
a little
maybe?
cheap? Yeah, prideful.
You know what I think it is? I think some artists do, you know, some people may get prideful, and I'll be honest, and I will use myself for an example. I'm an individual. I'm very punctual. I'm rarely late for anything. So I'm a guy, I really respect time. I'm one of those people, like, if you like 10 minutes late to something, like that'll really set me off. I'm one of those guys because I'm like, I look at time from the standpoint, like Taylor, if you and I have an arrangement to meet tomorrow at 12 o'clock, right? You know on Wednesday that we have to meet Thursday at 12 o'clock.
Yep.
So it's pretty unacceptable for you to walk in at 1. Like that's kind of like a waste of my time. Like you knew about that yesterday. So I think a lot of it with artists comes from that perspective. I don't want to explain it to someone that's probably not going to get it. I would give you another great example for Real Black Menswear. I had probably, I would say I had about, when I first announced that I was going to do a magazine, I probably had at least 20 people tell me that I wasn't ready to do a magazine. 20 people that has never had a magazine, nor have they been in a magazine, nor have they written for one. But they told me I wasn't ready for one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a lot of times it comes from, I think for a lot of people it's pride, and I think it's more of a timing thing. They just don't want to deal with someone else to explain it.
Yeah.
They might not pick it up. I can just do it myself the way I want it right and move on. I can do it quick. Opposed to, see, I think it's pride, but I think it's multifaceted though. I think it's more than one thing.
Yeah.
All of us being artists, though, I'm sure we've all dealt with that, though. I'm sure you've dealt with it. I'm sure you've dealt with it. I mean, that's just a
100%.
part of your inner, artistic vibes. You know, it's just a part of it, and it's personal too. Your music, your whether it's your company, it's personal to you. So it means a lot. Do you really want to give someone else the opportunity to say what you have to say? So I mean, it's definitely different sides to it. You know?
Yeah, we were talking about that in our discussion this morning, like trusting someone else almost with like your stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like this matters so much to me. Please take good care of it. But then Taylor made the distinction of like, you're still there. You're not like detached from it.
Wow.
You know, like you're still there, a part of it. It's just like, it's sharing. It's sharing.
Yep.
Wow.
And that was huge for me. I was like, whoa.
No, that's huge, man.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
like, bro, that's head on. Like, it's so right. There's nothing I can say. Like, there's no rebuttal. Like, that's a direct hit. I mean, it doesn't get any righter than that. I mean, that's very well said. I mean, What else can you say to that? I mean, that's spot on. Hopefully, though, is but that's the reason I love these podcasts, so people can have the opportunity to hear your story, and compare. Because I don't really like giving people like advice on things, because a lot of times what works for me may not necessarily work for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw on Dapper Villains, the podcast. You did a great show.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, great show. Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, great show.
Thank you. Good job at getting all the way through it. It was like 2.5 hours.
But you know what, though? I'll be honest with you. Those are the interviews that I think, I actually like extended interviews, man. It really gives you an opportunity to learn the person that's being interviewed. Like your interview was full of substance. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, trust me. It was over 2 hours. Like, there's no way I would have been able to listen to it if I wasn't enjoying it. I would have cut it off at like 20 minutes. Yeah, I'm not listening to something for 2 hours. But it was great. But Rich Fresh said something the other day on Dapper Villains, and he was saying, menswear right now is really missing a lot of innovation. It's a lot of copying. People just unoriginal. And Rich Fresh said, "Don't copy my merchandise. Copy my mindset."
Yep. Yeah, that was a great one.
Oh man, that's so powerful.
Yeah.
That's so powerful. Yeah, like you copying the wrong stuff. Because I think in menswear, people don't know how to, people just don't know how to let people have something. Like at this point, to be completely transparent with you, and I know you know this, Taylor, like Rich Fresh, the stripe is his. Let him have it.
Yeah.
Let him have it. I don't understand why people are trying to, why would you as a designer try to recreate a Rich Fresh look and expect people to take you serious or to be credible? But copy his mindset, be innovative. I did there's nothing wrong with borrowing from people. I don't think anything is wrong with borrowing, but like copying, taking, it's just.
Yeah. There's no like infinite game plan there. It's a very finite like mindset to just copy something. Like there's gonna be the end of it soon, so like why not take where that innovation came from though, because that's an infinite.
Absolutely. I mean, innovation, I say it's missing because people don't even know how to see something, appreciate it, and take from it and incorporate it in their own way. See, I did on the RBM page, you probably saw it, I did a breakdown. Fan. Thank you, man. I did a breakdown of how Prince borrowed from James Brown as far as his style.
That was a good one.
I saw that. That was
amazing. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, man. But more importantly, I think, Prince he was still innovative through borrowing, because when you look at Prince, you really don't see James Brown if you're not paying attention.
Right.
You don't see it.
Well, it's the whole thing of making something your own. I agree. Having your own voice.
Yes, sir.
Which I think like as far as like artists goes, we're all artists here. It is the most destructive thing to just copy. Copying's fine if you're just starting out, I think, to try and find your feet. But sooner or later, you're going to have to do your own thing, jump off the ledge, try something different. Yeah. And like the world doesn't need another Prince, doesn't need another James Brown, doesn't need another anyone, Rubinacci. It needs like Taylor, Jay Gatz, Steven, like Chris. Shouts out to Chris, our video guy here.
You gotta show Chris some love. You gotta show Chris some love.
And I feel like especially here in our city, Colorado Springs, people see big ideas from big cities, and then they're like, well, we can do that here without the personal touch of their own filter, like going through themselves, their experiences, their outlook, their worldview. Yeah. And it's just like, I feel like to actually do something of note, you need that. Like,
that's real.
Like how do you think, like us in the menswear sphere, but like, I feel like this goes for everyone.
It does.
In any circle that you're in, any sphere of influence. Do you have any ideas of how to find your voice?
Well, you know what? I will be honest with you. And this is really what I think. I think it really is far, and I'll will it back into, and I'm speaking specifically to menswear because I don't want to, of course, say the wrong thing. But I think the problem is a lot of people trying to have a voice need to shut the hell up. Like, pardon my French, but it's just like, right. Everybody's like, I want to have a voice. I want to do this, but it's just like, but what are you saying? You just started a year ago.
Right.
Like, what are you talking about? That, you know what I'm saying? That's one of the issues with menswear now. Menswear is, and that's why, you know, my approach this year has become different because, you know, before my mindset changed, you know, I read all the books, you know, I watched all the films, I did everything. And at the end of the day, no one was really interested in, and I'm talking like big companies, like Ralph Lauren, like these people I didn't work for. No one really was interested in trying to, like they didn't want my career to have growth. People just wanted me to keep selling, but I'm like, I'm not going to be coming in the store at 40 years old selling something.
Right.
I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but I'm telling you I ain't doing it. I'm not doing that. No. Why?
Yeah.
You know, and that's what they do. When I work, I'm not going to say the company's name because I don't want to get in no trouble. I worked for a company and I had an idea to do something at the store, right? And the girl that worked in New York in the PR department told me it was a horrible idea and gave me 100,000 reasons to why it wouldn't work. And they did the shit a month after I left. Exactly what I said. You know what I'm saying? The exact same thing that I did, you know? So and that's what I'm saying. That's the danger of what's happened, I think, in the world. People have become so fascinated with seeing a person have a degree. They don't actually have the experience. I'm actually talking to guys that have gone to FIT and different types of school because more importantly, like you really can't teach someone, like depending on the person, like teaching someone how to like taste. And that's really what I call it. I don't really think what we do is teaching people how to dress. I don't, you know, I don't really think I do that. I think we really help people cultivate their taste levels.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things I want to say to that. And one, I really think at least our brand really helps people find their style that's
Very
already
much so.
inside them.
Yes.
You know?
Very
and
much so.
You and I had a talk just about my own style today, and that was really cool because it was still pushing me further.
Yes.
Still me, but still, how can I be more of me? And then, as you're saying, the people are looking for a voice. I think there's a really great distinction there of, yes, people are looking for a voice, and those people that are looking for it, if it's not theirs, they should just shut the hell up.
No doubt.
But we need more of is people using their own voice and their own story and experience and not caring necessarily what it's doing around them. As long as it's true to themselves, then it's going to work, you know?
No, I agree with that. But as Steve said, you're 100% right. And you really nailed it in because a lot of the voices, if you will, that I'm hearing, like you said, it's a variation of like Rubinacci or something I've seen. And I'm just like, listen, man, as a designer, I don't know what goes through people's heads. I don't know why any man on this planet is under the interpretation that he can do a Rubinacci trouser better than Rubinacci. I don't understand that. I don't even know why you would try.
Yeah.
Do your own trouser, man.
Why would you try? If you don't know anything about clothes or you're not innovative, then why the hell are you in the clothing industry? I don't get it. Like I don't get it.
So almost like have something to say first and then find your voice through that.
Well, yeah, because like now, and this is one of the main reasons we all follow the page. This is why my content is curated because when I used to do my stories, like when I met Days, too many people started copying that. But at this point, I've curated my content to a point to where it's very hard to copy. I would love for someone to try to break down James Brown and Prince. Please do it.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing about me being so well read and why I encourage people to don't marginalize yourself to just the suit. Don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, like, cause for me, I can talk it all. Literally, I can talk about what Teddy Pendergrass is. I know these things. I've studied all the way around. Unlike most people who have just studied it from three perspectives: Italian, British, and Parisian.
Yeah.
It's become standard practice in menswear to really like, and you know about this, to like really not acknowledge all cultures. Like that's become standard practice. So, you know, I think, to be honest with you, I really think the menswear industry, in all honesty, is super trash right now. That's why there are just certain, like sartorial, I don't even use that word no more.
Yeah.
I don't even use that word. That it's a fancy word that sounds like some salad dressing. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing because me as a black man, I've studied all these years, I've read all these things. You know, they say Alan Flusser is the most knowledgeable, G. Bruce Boyer is the most knowledgeable. And I'm like, okay, well then why the hell they ain't tell me about Nat King Cole?
Right.
But they told me about Fred Astaire. And all these other cats.
Yeah.
And I think the menswear industry is guilty. I'm not saying G. Bruce Boyer and Alan Flusser are bad people. Not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is I think we are quick to give people titles that they are undeserving of. And let's call people what they are. People in the menswear industry are specialists. If you specialize in dealing with rich people, that's what you do. You're an aristocratic clothing specialist. But how do you help the brother in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Why should the brother in Brooklyn listen to you? If you only deal with rich people.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's really awesome because that's something that I think I've talked about on this podcast before is we should be able to celebrate all cultures.
Yes.
And then we should also be able to just get the conceptual piece of it. So meaning you have this aristocratic person here and this person from Brooklyn here.
Right.
The difference is you're helping them with their style. Like if you pull it all back, that's what you should be able to do.
Absolutely.
You should just be able to help them no matter what kind of cultural like goal they have. You know what I mean?
Bro, it makes every bit of sense. Keep on. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, that's great. No, and yeah, not too much more, but yeah, that's what as a brand we are trying to do is we're trying to be like, what style and culture like do you really love and like fits your personality the best, and how can we help clothe you for that as clothiers? But
more important, what I really love about what you all are doing here, because I know there's a deeper meaning to what's going on here, which is really one of the main reasons I am excited about this project, because I know you have a very pure intention with this project, to help people all over the country, that particularly men, which is something that is not discussed amongst men. We all know that. For us to sit down and have those conversations, we all going through things, to have those discussions and men talking about mental illness, the importance of it. And that's innovative to me. That's much better than me walking in here and you trying to sell me a 4-inch lapel sport coat. Like that. You know what I'm saying? And but that's what menswear has become now.
Yeah.
Because of Instagram and that's what it is now, to where people aren't even stylish. People say all the time, people be like, Jay, you're amazing. You're well dressed. And it's like, I appreciate that. But like, in all honesty, as far as my sense of style, I'm not that great. People are just used to seeing a lot of bullshit on the internet. That's really what it is. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not terrible, but I'm not like Dr. Andre Churchwell. I'm not like my mentor Avery. Like this is next level stuff. Next level stuff. It's just the menswear culture is just interesting to me, but it's through projects like this that we can change it and push people to more pure intentions, opposed to this popularity contest that it's become. This is a popularity contest. Yeah. And we all saw during the George Floyd and all of these social injustices, we saw how these people was responding to that. Yeah. A lot of these guys in Italy that I've educated Americans on, often they couldn't even say rest in peace to George Floyd. They couldn't even say a prayer for him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like at this point, menswear with so much that's happened, it's become bigger to me. At this point, I'm like, look, fuck the clothes. We got to sit down and start having some real conversations.
Yes, that's exactly the nail on the head.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
The product is the smallest part of it. Like
it's the smallest part.
We know that we have a great quality product, but it's what the product does for you, and it's giving you confidence, and it's, in our case, is letting you overcome things like depression, anxiety, things that we all struggle with on a daily basis. And let's just talk about it, man. And let's overcome it together.
But again, conceptually, that's where you're going to connect with a lot of people, because you're not really here to make money. That's not your end goal. You're more so trying to help people and really help, connect with people that have internal struggles. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Who's doing that? Like in all honesty, who's doing that? Most of these people can't even say rest in peace to a lost soul for no reason. Right. You know what I'm saying? Aside that, when the pandemic was happening, not the pandemic, excuse me. When this stuff jumped off of George Floyd, I was so done with most of the people in Europe the weekend it happened. Because it's like at this point, like in all honesty, and I'm talking about me, I'm a little different. I don't really care what, and this is no disrespect to him, I don't really care what Alexander Kraft smokes.
Right.
As far as a cigar. I don't give a damn what he drinks. I don't care where he lives. It's irrelevant to me. I'm just saying, like, it's irrelevant. The whole weekend, a lot of Europe and a lot of these other guys that Americans, particularly Black Americans, patronize, and all these style guys, they had nothing to say. So with RBM, even with Inherent Clothier, coming together with like-minded individuals, people that can say, hey man, I haven't experienced your struggle, but I can try to understand it. Right. Some form of understanding.
Well, it's empathy.
Empathy
is so lost in people today.
Yes.
It's just like people look like, even like people in my own family look at stats, post stats. I'm like, these were human beings, people with inherent value. And it's like you're whittling them down to a number, a stat.
Yeah.
Like how can you, I don't understand that. It's just like being able to put yourself in that position. Like, I don't know what it's like to be like Black in America,
right,
or Black in general. I don't know, right, but I can empathize. I can try to understand,
right,
like as much as I can.
But this is the good thing about it, and this is where people make mistakes. I appreciate you saying that. This is where things become problematic. People, more importantly, it's the problem comes when people that have not been Black try and tell you how you should feel and how you should approach a grievance. That's a lot of times when Black people be like, I can't even express to you how I really feel without it being something. You know what I'm saying? It's just a prejudice. And to be honest with you, like you said, that is what's missing in menswear. And I started Real Black Menswear because, to be honest with you, the menswear industry is like any other industry. They're full of shit and they're racist. Pardon my French. I'm just being honest with you.
We're good.
Because it's standard practice in menswear not to study Black people. That is standard practice now. Now, our Real Black Menswear, been up for about 5-6 months, and all of a sudden you see the Rake doing an article on Sammy Davis Jr. You know what I'm saying? Now, on the flip side, I'm not mad about it, and I'm glad for their sake they decided to do the right thing. I'm glad they decided to do it. And the thing is, your asses should have been doing it, but more importantly, keep them coming.
Yeah.
Yep. You got people in America reading a European magazine, supporting you, subscribing. How can you expect me to buy your magazine if it's nothing in there for me?
Yep. Well, what you just said right there is a really good form of empathy too, of saying, listen, I know you haven't been doing this and you should have been doing this the entire time, but I'm glad you're doing it now. And
I'm glad you're doing it now.
Keep
right.
it coming.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly how it's supposed to come. But it's standard practice, and we're changing it. And even like with your project, that's why I wanted to be a part of it, because you are changing the menswear culture. We are getting the menswear culture away from the typical peanut butter and jelly bull crap. You know what I'm saying? That has to stop. If men are going to come in and spend thousands of dollars with you on clothing, they should at least they should be able to get more than just a suit. And that's really how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's something I've said a few times too, is what we're really trying to switch from is this transactional relationship that people have with retail stores of just coming in, transaction. Let's give an experiential one that people are going to really care about, especially after COVID, when they've just been in their house. Like, let's give an experience to these people that instead of a transactional relationship.
What I really like about what you guys are doing here at Inherent, you guys, through the pandemic, because a lot of brands did not make it. A lot of the guys in made to measure custom, a lot of guys I know, the pandemic started around March. That's when they decided to lock things down. And I know a lot of guys, 2.5-3 months in, they were done.
Yeah.
A lot of guys were done. So it's been one of those things. I think the pandemic has been an eye opener to a lot of people. Right now, the world is different, and we, as humans, we don't have the freedom to just screw around like we used to. Now you got to be serious. That's why, if you notice, the menswear industry is really, it's kind of cleared out a little bit. You notice, it's not what it was 6 months ago. Like if we go back to, it's cleared out a lot. A lot of the debris, as I call it, has cleared out. The people that were here doing absolutely nothing but just making noise, it's gone. And I personally prefer it like that, because the people that know what they're doing can actually be effective. Nobody wants to be in a place that's overcrowded or oversaturated.
Yeah.
If this room is packed, how can I effectively get around?
Yeah.
If it's just people in here for no reason. That makes no sense. The menswear industry is really cleared out, and I think a lot of the people that know what they're doing are starting to come to the forefront. Now was an interesting time because people do not have people's finances are a little different now. So right now, at this point, you need to really have a good product that speaks, because people are not spending money on something subpar now. You know, when you look at a guy, Rich Fresh, I mean, his garments is amazing garments, but I mean, we all know it's not inexpensive.
Right.
And people are buying it.
Yeah.
He's still selling suits. So I love, this newer wave of innovation that has come into menswear, and I think things are changing for the better. I think the pandemic, unfortunately, a lot of things happened. A lot of people may have lost jobs, or a lot of people may not have been able to continue. But I mean, in all honesty, I think everything happens for a reason. And to be honest, I think a lot of people didn't really need to be selling suits. To be honest, I really don't. I think a lot of people should apply their knowledge to marketing careers, advertising careers, and things of that sort. I don't know why people want to do something that everyone's doing. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah. But Inherent Clothier, like I said, Rich Fresh is just like a group of like 8 to 10 people that are really coming to the forefront, and menswear is really beginning to change. And people are being impacted in different ways because people like yourself, you're sitting down and we're having these conversations, talking to younger clothiers around the country and saying, hey man, I understand your business is down. This is something that worked for me. Just try it out. I'm not saying it's going to work 100%, but at least try it out. Yeah. I did very well with it. And just, me being on my phone, just sending those nuggets to some of the younger guys I've seen who I know are struggling, just trying to be there. And as we were talking about with Ian, providing some form of guidance.
Yeah, absolutely.
For people, that's very important to me. And that's really what I've enjoyed doing, man. I've been in the industry for over 10 years now. So just being able to talk to people and, give them small nuggets that can really help their careers, because people don't understand. I've become so knowledgeable, but that comes from me making mistakes. Right. That's a lot of mistakes. They say a real expert is a person that's made every possible mistake. Yeah. I've made a lot of mistakes, man.
I always say it's the most expensive education you can get.
Oh my God.
Like I probably could have paid for 2 Harvard scholarships at this point with the amount of money I've lost.
Oh, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely crazy. But like, again, though, with the culture, with the menswear culture just changing, I'm really excited to see where menswear will be around like 2022. Like I was just, when everything is settled in with this newer way of life for us now, I'm really interested to see where the menswear industry is, because when Real Black Menswear, when we released our first issue, I know that's going to change a lot of things in the industry. So I'm really excited about the next 2 years. I'm really looking forward to them,
Yeah.
Definitely looking forward to them. Me too. Yeah, man. It's going to be crazy, man.
Yeah.
I have a question about confidence. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's any debate that you are a fucking confident person.
Me?
Straight up, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I also know you get a lot of heat for speaking your mind, being like, this is what I think, this is what I believe. Were you naturally like that? Is that how you've been naturally? Or was there a moment where you were like, I need to do this. I need to be myself. Does that make sense?
Ooh, that's interesting. No, that makes every bit of sense. Was I, over time, I've probably become a bit more blunt. I've always spoken my mind, but in a transactional situation, you got to be very careful with that. Sure. Like if you were a client. But as far as like when I'm speaking my mind on style, don't give a shit who doesn't like it. Could care less. If you don't like it, don't read it.
Yeah.
It's that simple. You don't even got to DM me. We don't have to talk, nothing.
Yeah.
Just unfollow me. I don't understand why people like to have conversations with me about things that they disagree about.
Yeah.
I don't really want to have a discussion. For me, it's not a forum. I said what I had to say.
Yeah.
If you disagree with it, then wear it how you want to wear it.
Why is that important to you to like kind of speak your truth and like put it out there?
Because
not engage in negativity.
Sure.
But just like, this is what I believe.
You really want to know why? Because I made mistakes and I wanted to learn how to dress, and it took me 2 years to find someone to teach me because no one wanted to sit down with me. So I put that information out there for young guys to get that information because I understand how hard it is to get valuable information.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
A lot of times when people, my program, I've taken heat for it, but my program is critical thinking. I challenge the way people think as far as the way they dress. I don't talk about what people's wearing. I don't talk about this stuff. I challenge the way people think as far as their dress. I tell people, if you're wearing that $5.99 almond Kohan, do better.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you've been wearing Suit Supply for 3 years, step it up. I don't understand why people get so offended by that. You know what I'm saying? Right. What's the problem? Or if you don't like what I'm saying, then keep going to Suit Supply. But a lot of people get mad at me because they know everything I'm saying. It's a lot of truth to it.
So it digs at them a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what it is? As my father told me, I'm one of those guys, I feel with, as far as style concerns, I tell an inconvenient truth. Some shit that's true, but you don't want to hear it. That's typically what it is.
Yeah.
That's why people get mad at me, because I have more people that can't stand me, but they still follow me. They're following me for a reason. There's some truth to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But again, this is men's clothing. This is men's I don't understand why people are so, I mean, to be honest with you, man, I feel like I'm in a baking class almost. I've never seen so many men like not be able to have a conversation with a man.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, I'm not even trying to disrespect. Like, I'm not being disrespectful to you. You asked me my opinion. I told you what I thought.
Yeah.
If your body is not flattering to this, or if I see men doing something and like a lot of guys doing something that I personally know is not flattering to their body, then I will share that information, you know, because I don't want people taking L's.
Yeah.
I was one of those dudes at one point when I didn't know anything. I was wearing winter suits in the summer.
Yeah.
So I did a video and I told people polyester in the summer is not the move. Polyester's never the move unless it's fused with like a shirt collar or something. You shouldn't be wearing polyester as a grown man. Like in the form of a jacket.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people got to grow up, you know, like, you know, build your style. And another thing why places like Suit Supply, I teach men to place value on how you dress, place value on how you look, place value on it. A lot of guys don't place value on it. That's why Suit Supply does well. Because most guys are like, hey, I can look pretty good, relatively modern, but I can only do it with $500. And like that mindset is okay when you're starting and you're getting in. But if you're doing that shit 3-4 years in, you need to do better, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, like, period. Like, do better. Especially if you're going to be on Instagram making statements like, I clean up well.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're going to talk shit,
then
like,
you better be doing the most.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. It's people that be on Instagram, yeah, I clean up well. And I'm like, bruh, like, that shit is whack. Like, part of my friends, but I'm like, that's not even like there's nothing creative about that. You have a solid blue suit on with a solid white shirt and a solid blue tie. There's nothing life-changing about that.
Yeah.
There's nothing life-changing about that. I saw JFK do that in the 60s.
Right.
It's fucking 2020. Step it up.
Yeah.
I don't understand, like, but the information's
Chris
there.
is getting hyped.
You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it because, like, people, like, if I showed y'all some of my DMs, people, you would think I was crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the thing what Steven's saying and what you're saying, I think that the distinction is people originally like come across that content as pointed when it's really more encouraging.
Right.
A misinterpretation
Right.
for sure.
Right. And it's like this. If you're in the service, the drill sergeant isn't the nicest guy, but he's there to help you.
Yeah. He wants you to succeed.
Right. And that's what people don't want my help. They want me to be nice. And unfortunately, like, I'm not running a popularity contest. I don't really give a shit if people like me or not. I'm just not here for that.
Yeah.
I got a family. I have a daughter. Like, I have bigger priorities in life than to worry about how people feel about me. If people don't want my help, people want me to be nice. And I'm just like, that's not really what I signed up for.
Yeah. And that, when you were with Dace yesterday and like all through our conversation today, you reminded me so much of me when I was like in my early 20s.
Oh, wow.
Just wild, a little brash, knew what I thought, and was just like, this is it.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And that made me think. I grew up in church.
Okay.
And I mean, you can tell, I mean, I don't fit in church. You know, they didn't like me there.
I can see that.
But it was always like, Steven, you're too intense. Steven, you're this, you're that, and the other. You know, lighten up. And I was talking with my wife last night, and I was just like, man, did I low key make a decision with myself to compromise myself so that I would be liked and not cause drama, rather than sticking to my guns and being like, this is me, like it or not, this is it. And that I'm just kind of like going on a tangent here.
No, don't
that
take your
was
time.
just like, that rocked me.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, whoa, what the fuck? Did I do something wrong? What's right?
Right.
You know, like, and like, that's a big question that I'm been rolling around in my head. Like, what's right? And it's just like, for myself, like, there's a part of me that's just like, fuck what everyone thinks. This is me. My wife loves me. My friends love me.
Right.
We're here. Who really matters?
Right.
But then there's another side of me that is just like, has always been there. I grew up, my mom's Japanese, really strict.
Okay.
And was just like, this is how you be. And side note, it was always like, be more white, you know, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Asians love to like just blend in with white folk.
No, I get it.
And that's fine. But like, I was just like, but I love these things. I want to listen to hip hop.
Right.
I want to do all this.
Right.
I want to get into why is that bad? And it was always kind of like, no, this is the way to be.
Right.
And like going through therapy and counseling and all that stuff, like me and my mom have a great relationship now.
Sure.
But it's just like, man, like I feel like I might have given up a part of myself that I didn't know in that transaction of like, this is who you should be, but this is who I am. And like, I guess my question or thought is just like, in your mind, whether that's just specifically in menswear or however you want to go, just like, can you know the difference? How do you stick to your guns? Is it always worth it?
So this is how I look at that. I think, and I'm only speaking from my experience.
Yes, of course.
I think people put too much thought into how they're perceived and what people think about them. That's a lot of time to give someone in your brain that's not doing shit for you.
Yeah, giving them power.
Hell yeah. Like, this is what I'm saying. Why would I, and this is the honest truth, why would I compromise who I am because someone does not like the way that I speak? I feel like people complicate their lives. If you don't like me, it's probably better for you just not to come around me.
Right.
That's what I do if I don't like somebody. If I don't like you, I'm not going around you because I know if I go around you, there's probably going to be a problem.
Yeah.
People do that. And I think because people don't know how to not be dramatic in those situations. Like, prime example, I'll give you the type of my personality. If the restaurant we went to have lunch, if I would have had a bad experience there, I'm not writing a review on Yelp. I'm just not going to go again.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
I'm just not going to go again.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how I am. You know what I mean? I'm not giving a shitty meal that much of my time. I'm better off just not going back.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go, what you about to say, Charlie?
Yeah, so I think that's a really good question on like self-growth as well.
Yeah.
Like for you specifically.
Yeah.
So what kindness looks like for both of you too, knowing both of you, it's very different.
Yeah.
So like you're trying to say, am I being too brash? When you have the knowing you in your heart, like the kindness needs to be there. It needs to have a seat at the table. It needs to be a presence.
Right.
Where for you, it's more like, I just want everyone to win, but I don't necessarily care how that comes across.
Right.
And if you don't get that, then next, just like what you're saying. So there's two different ways to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, your own voice and your own experience and like how you're presenting needs to be true to yourself. And for you, I really think it is like being patient and kind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And for you, I think it's more just like, how quick can we get to the end? You know?
Well, this is the thing too. I also look at it from the standpoint of, people like, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying. And this is just my honest opinion. I really think people just put too much thought into how people feel about them, and people just, aren't doing much with them. Like, and that's very true. I want everybody to win, but like you said, within reason.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to win, but again, it needs to happen within reason. And again, a lot of it comes from, I understood that a very long time ago. At no point will Jay Gatz ever be able to satisfy everybody. That's never going to happen. So me knowing that's never going to happen, I'm not going to try.
Yeah.
I can talk my message. If you agree with my message, great. Let's go on this journey together.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like he was saying, different people, like there's more than one way to skin a cat. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, they're working towards the same thing. One guy's approach was a little different. Martin Luther King was like, hey, let's be a little more organized. Malcolm X was like, nah, if you touch me, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Right.
And my attitude is a bit more like that, to be honest with you. Like, because the things that I say are not unreasonable. That's why a lot of times when people see me, they be like, he look like he mad, but it's like, I am mad. You know what I mean? I've studied menswear to a level that most people haven't. It hasn't connected with people in the way it's connected with me. You not mad because you ain't put enough time in yet. If you'd put my time in, you'd probably be bothered by it.
Yeah.
I know Dr. Church well. I think it's crap that he's not on magazines. I think it's crap that they talk about Alexander Craft more than they talk about him. I do. I don't think anything is cool about praising somebody rich, born into wealth that had access to everything. Like, I'm just saying, you did good, but you were kind of supposed to. Let's talk about the brothers that came in at a disadvantage and still overcame adversity.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the menswear community. And like just with America in general. Let's start talking about people that landed on the right side of history.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
They talk about the Duke of Windsor and all these books. He was racist as hell. I get pictures of him with Hitler.
Yeah.
And they talk about him like he's a guy. And I say, okay, I know a man in Nashville, Tennessee, who's a cardiologist. His name is Dr. Andre Churchwell, and he's better dressed than the Duke of Windsor. And more importantly, he's in my community. And when I say that, people think it's a troll, but it's like, no, that's how I really feel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of my stuff on IG kind of went up quick, because people thought I was trolling, but when they actually heard my reasoning, they were like, no, that actually kind of makes good sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're not celebrating the cultures equally as we should.
Yeah.
We're not celebrating the cultures equally, but it's just one of those things. It's like, y'all can't find one guy in world history that was well dressed and did some good. Yeah. Like that, is that really impossible? Is it that hard to do? Y'all would rather talk about Cary Grant, Fred Astaire, and the same 5 guys over and over than talk about one black guy that dresses better than all of them.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying, these are facts. And if anyone, and I hope people see this, if anyone wanted debates that, I would debate anybody on that, any style-wise. I would be more than happy to have that conversation with anyone. How Dr. Andre Churchill is better dressed than the Duke of Windsor. If anybody ever wants to debate, please direct message me. I'm ready to have the conversation. Like, it is what it is. They just don't, again, like you said, people aren't celebrated. And more importantly, like going to your point, I had many people when I worked at Ralph Lauren that told me I was too black. Many people.
Jeez.
Yeah. Not in those exact words, but that's what they were saying.
Sure.
And I'm just like, look, man.
Sure.
Like, and again, the corporate world, that's why I love what's going on here, because in the corporate world, and this is why I think entrepreneurship is very important for people to really follow their paths, because a lot of times when you're on the wrong path, it's impossible for you to blossom. Do you know what I'll be doing if I still worked at Ralph Lauren? Listening to people who are not senior sellers tell me how to be a senior seller. People who've never sold the amount of clothing that I've sold, but they're giving me advice on how to do it. I was just like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
You've never sold it, but you're telling me how to do it. Where does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like again, but back to your point, bro, I think with you, and like you said, it's just knowing your heart.
Yeah.
But if I could give advice to anybody, I encourage people, do not listen to people. If someone tells you something, consider the source. If someone gives you advice and they don't have a resume or they're not experiencing that advice, then don't listen.
Yeah.
Don't listen, you know? You know, as far as art direction, I would listen to anything you say. I've seen your work. I know that you were great in regards to art direction. I know that. But if I got a buddy of mine that works at Chipotle, which there's nothing wrong with, but if he's trying to give me art direction for Real Black Menswear, I'm gonna be like, bro, like, that's not what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and respectfully.
Yeah, of course.
That's not what you do. So like, you know, I just consider the source. And a lot of times when I consider the source, it's just because like Dr. Churchwell, who's seen my work, he doesn't ever say anything to me. My mentor and like a lot of the people, when I make, I guess, controversial statements, no one ever says anything. It's just always the people that can't dress. No disrespect, but that's what it is.
Yeah. And even like Taylor, what you said about like, I agree with you, like kindness is very important to me, patience. Cause like, man, I can be terrifying. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, man. Like, no, that's a real thing, man. And I admire you for saying that because you are a very kind person. But see, the thing is, I think in life, something that my father was a pastor. Mm-hmm. It's something that my father kind of made me aware of at a young age. He taught me really not to be in my emotions all the time, you know? Because my father explained that to me long ago. He said, Jason, if some people just don't want to accept the truth because of how it's given. He said, if a monkey walks up to me and tells me 1 + 1 is 2, even though he's a monkey, that's still true.
Right.
Most people, before they could even accept the answer, would be stoked that they heard that from a monkey. And spend an hour talking about that. But it's like, no, he gave you the answer. Leave him the hell alone. Yeah. You got what you needed. And it's in situations like that where I'm just like, hey, let's pick up the pace. Yeah. I don't really, I'm just not that, I'm not that type of person. I want to put the good information out there, make it happen. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. But like, I just feel like we live in a super sensitive society. Like, comedians can't even joke now. Comedians can't even tell jokes.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think it is. I think people are just too sensitive now. Like, grow up. Like, comedians can't tell jokes, bro. Like, think about the logic of that.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart and comedians are being
attacked
scrutinized
for 15-year-old tweets.
Yeah,
it's wild.
For jokes, man. So it's like, I just feel like our society. Our society is just way. I just feel like our society is just way too sensitive, man. You know, and I think if people were more straight to the point, if people were more likely to stay out of their feelings and just accept good information for what it is, people could be more successful. But when you in your feelings, how can you get good information if you're worried about how someone's telling you? Now, granted, I'm not saying, allow people to speak to you disrespectfully. Sure. No one wants that, you know? But on the flip side, it's like, I think people have too many preferences at how things are done to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, how do you want me to talk to you? Like, I've had some people tell me, they're like, you're rude. And I'm just like, what more do you expect?
Well, is rude just saying, like, what is rude?
And that's what I'm saying. Rude is relative. You don't like, right. That's relative.
Exactly. And like, I don't think I'm just thinking out loud. The way that you communicate is not unkind to me.
Right. I appreciate that.
It is matter of fact, straight to the point, cut through the bullshit. Here's what I think. Right. And there's nothing unkind about that. Right. Inherently, I don't think. Yeah. And this is like, I think a big distinction between Jay and myself is that, like, when I say what I think, I sound like a fucking asshole. Okay. If I'm not careful. I truly, and I don't want that. Right. Like I was saying before our interruption, I want people to feel valued because I believe that everyone does inherently have value. Right. And like, kindness is a huge part of that. Like, there's not enough of it in this world. That's true. But like, for me and for you, I feel like kindness is manifesting itself in different ways. Yes. You know, like your heart is like, so like, win, like, do the most, earn it, do the damn thing. And like, I see a lot of parallels with myself, and like Taylor was saying, the approach is different, but like, we're all going to the same thing. Like, people matter, do good, and like, do the most, be the best. I mean, bro, like, no, I mean, I like, again, like, I totally agree with that. And the way for me, like I told you, before, my mind works a little different. Mm-hmm. RBM, Taylor, we never had this conversation. So Real Black Menswear, initially, and you'll meet my mentor, Avery, we had the conversation about Real Black Menswear 2 years ago. This is something that I did. The inception of Real Black was 2 years ago, but I literally gave myself time to think it out. Yep. So when I did go to the market, I would be ready to go and I would be unstoppable. Yeah. I really thought it out. So to your point, a lot of times when I'm giving people information, it's like, I just want people to consider the source. Right. I'm not telling you some bullshit. This is well thought out. Yeah.
it came from a mistake I made, or what you tried, I tried it several different ways and none of them worked. You know what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of times it comes from a matter of fact place. It's not me being rude. And like you said, kindness is manifested in different ways. To me, I think I'm a very kind person.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know too many of these. I don't see Rubinacci going on IG every day giving people style tips.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, we can cuss on here, right?
Yeah.
Those trash ass shirt tie combinations he be doing, that shit is trash.
Yeah.
I'm giving real dressing advice.
Yeah.
He's putting subpar shirt tie combinations together and they're not even good.
Well, pushing product, like what I see from Rubinacci, and this is just my opinion.
Okay.
Nobody yell at me.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I see him pushing product, not culture.
You know what I see? I see a guy living off his dad's name. That's what I see. A guy whose father was a beast and he's riding it into the moonset. That's what I see. He can't dress. We all know that. He's not a stylish person. You know it and you know it. Y'all may not want to say it, but let's just put it out on the table. He's not the most stylish person. We know that. So he's surviving off the name. These are just facts. People don't like it because it's the truth. And people probably more so don't like it because a black guy is saying it. That's really what a lot of this shit is. That's really what a lot of this shit is. A lot of people don't like the things that I say. Come on, we know what's going on. We in America.
Yeah.
I speak in a matter-of-fact way, and unfortunately, a lot of times guys that tend to speak like that don't do very well with people.
Right.
Me, again, lucky for me, I don't really give a shit. We've kind of discovered that. We don't care.
The thing is, you don't really need to. And when I was coming back in here, I heard you say, like, you don't have to live in your feelings.
Yeah.
And that's like completely from where you're at and what you're doing. For us, feelings are 100% important, and you need to live in your feelings because that's what helps you get in touch with with yourself.
Right.
And one of the distinctions we were talking about a little bit earlier was when someone says something like they're like borrowing things or copying things or whatever, and they're not using their own voice. And they're saying, they're trying to tell you what it's like to be a black man when they're like a 40-year-old white guy or something like that. Like, that's the wrong way to go about it. The right way to go about it would be, I have no idea what you're feeling right now. This is what I'm feeling. No doubt. That's the first step in these conversations is, this is what I'm feeling. I know what I'm feeling. I cannot know what you're feeling. There's no possible way.
Right.
Yeah. Once we can just agree that I have no idea what you feel or what it's like to feel what you feel. I have no idea what you feel. Like, but I know what I feel and I know what my story is like. Right. And that's the only thing I can speak from. If we can start the conversation after that step, then it looks so much different for everything.
But you know, and I'll be honest with you, in two Taylor, like prime example, and I was saying, and just to clarify, when I was speaking about not being in your feelings, no, what you were saying, no, you definitely need to be, like, in a situation like that, you have to be in touch with yourself. I was more so saying you shouldn't be in your feelings in just like a typical conversational situation, because a lot of times people can have a conversation, they may feel some way about the way something's being said, and because they feel some type of way about it, they cannot accept the information. Because they're like, I don't like the way this guy's talking to me. So in that sense, I'm like, get out your feelings. Get out of them because they got you jacked up right now. But like in the sense of, like you're saying, having those intimate internal discussions, absolutely. But and maybe I should use the term sensitive because I feel like I probably should use sensitive. I just feel like a lot of people are sensitive. But I agree with what Taylor was saying as far as that when things are going on in this country, I think the problem is, like, as far as like race relations in this country, as far as what I've seen, I think like you were saying, I think more importantly, black people just want people to listen. And we typically can't even get that.
Right.
Typically, as a black man, I can't even get that. Most people I can't tell, because most people have not lived on the side of the world that I've lived on.
Right.
Most people, there are certain people that just don't understand a police bothering them for no reason. There are certain people that just don't get it.
Right.
Yep. They're lost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know, you get a guy like Donald Trump, there are a couple bad apples in the bunch. No, it's more than a couple at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, let's be clear about that. This is more than two people. It's raining black people dying in America, and it's all over. And a couple bad apples, like, nah.
Yeah.
That's whack. But
I love that Chris Tucker said it the best, right? Like,
what's that?
Did you hear that joke that he made? He was basically like, you can't say police are bad apples. That's like saying like, oh, it's okay. There's a couple of bad apples, like as long as it's not the whole bushel. But that's like going to an airplane and saying, oh yeah, we have a couple of bad pilots, but no big deal. Like,
Yeah,
you're
like you
in
can't
a
do
job where
that.
you can't be a bad apple.
But also,
like you absolutely can't.
You can't, but then like people just forget the other part of that analogy of bad apples.
They spoil the bunch.
They spoil the bunch.
That's real.
Yeah.
I mean, like, man, and it's interesting because there are people, and that's what I think the problem is with race relations in the country. There are people that like to comment on certain cultures, certain nationalities that have not experienced them. They've read a stat,
Right.
as you said, and they have not experienced it. They know nothing about it.
Right.
They don't know anyone from that community.
Right.
Like literally, do you know how many times I've heard people say to me, like people that are not black say to me, man, I understand black people. And I'm just like, well, the fact that you just said that speaks volumes. So
Yeah.
do me a favor,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up and don't say that shit again.
Right. Well, it's
Like for real.
It's having like, and this is about to get really heavy, so I apologize.
No, go ahead.
The commentary on one person or a group of people's grief. What the fuck do you know about
Yes.
it? Because here's the thing. This is I'm going to be really vulnerable. My daughter died in January. She is stillbirth, 36 weeks.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, thank you. People want to connect. They don't know how, so they say a bunch of dumb shit.
Yeah.
And then they're just like you can have another one.
God,
To my wife, who's grieving still. We both are. It's because you don't get over it. It's not something you get over. And like, I don't want to draw any comparisons, but just the comparison of grief. A community is grieving, and you can't tell that person or that community how to feel or how to grieve, or that it's fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Man, like, keep a stiff upper lip and like
Right.
keep going. Like, even though that's what you kind of have to do on a personal level, at the end of the day, how dare you, whoever the fuck you are,
Right.
tell someone who is hurting or a group of people who are hurting how to feel or how to deal with the grief that you know nothing about.
Or check this out. Or more importantly, this is what I'm saying. This is another situation that black people in this country deal with. Or imagine, like, as a black person, a brand that you support, they try to say it, but say it halfway.
Yeah.
And I know y'all saw a lot of that because I saw it. I know, you know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
So that's right. I know y'all saw that. You know what I mean?
That's actually right when we connected. It was like
Yup.
the week that everything was going down.
Oh,
and
'cause-
I was like,
Listen, bro,
Yeah.
I connected with this brother here, and I know Taylor probably saw it. That week on Instagram, that week I might have been a bit aggressive outside of my typical self.
Sure.
I was going hard that week.
Yeah.
I was, but the
Rightly
thing-
so.
But this is the thing, right? People need to understand when you have people supporting you, you need to be held accountable to that. See, a lot of the menswear guys, I start to look at them as jokes because it's like a lot of y'all want to be recognized as world style icons, but when it's time to step up and do the right thing, you're nowhere to be found.
yeah.
You're nowhere to be found.
Because they don't want to upset
They don't want to, exactly.
It's just, no. Well,
Right.
when there's an injustice, you need to stand. And we were pretty intentional about how we came across that too. With like what we're trying to more be from like a helpful mindset. So like we posted a ton of resources everywhere. We posted a ton of like,
But Taylor,
this is, yeah, go
but
ahead.
this is what I'm going to tell you. This is why you're different, and this is why you aren't full of shit. I come into this establishment. It's diverse. You all practice diversity. You know what I'm saying? See, that's practicing diversity, promoting, giving people jobs. See, that's why I got a Suit Supply, because I work there. I know how that system works. Don't post no picture of no black man. That don't mean shit to me. If you care about black people, then promote the black people in the store doing most of the fucking sales.
Yeah.
That's how you can show me you love me. I don't want to see no fucking picture of a man in a suit. What does that mean to me?
Yeah.
What does that mean to me? What does that mean? For you to post a picture with somebody like this, what the hell did that do? Not a damn thing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I added them.
Yeah.
I told them that they were trash and they don't they don't promote black people. And I know because I work there.
Yeah.
And I was the top salesman there. So I know the culture there. They don't do it. And a lot of these companies, I don't care if they don't like it, you need to be held accountable. If black people and other cultures and nationalities are supporting you, when something happens, you need to be able to speak up.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't, be prepared to hear about it. I don't understand why people feel like they don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, well,
like, how do you do that? I subscribe to your magazine. That makes me feel some type of way when you don't address me.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've told people to read your magazine.
Yeah, it was like, stand up for your people. Like, if you have a global audience, man, you're not just in your little home anymore. You're not just in your hometown. We're not just in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
You know, like, the people that support you, point people towards you, whatever your business is, you're responsible to them as well.
And you know what? I wanted a lot of the individuals overseas to understand, you know, because it's so interesting to me that when it comes to black issues, that's when people want to get ignorant. You know, when it comes to stuff that black individuals deal with, that's when people be like, oh, I'm not sure. Man, stop it. You know exactly what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
Everybody know the issues that black people deal with in this country and around the world. Ain't none of this shit new.
Yeah.
So when Rubinacci said that, I added him and told him he was full of shit. I don't care how well he designs clothes. I don't care. It's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I have an after-school program in Atlanta. I've educated young black boys on your sense of style. You can't even say rest in peace. That's some bullshit. Pardon my French.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit. And I will tell you this. If you think you can do that, then I will tell every black person to discontinue business with you and to go to someone that does know how to say rest in peace to George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, bro, at the end of the day, these is clothes, man. I don't care about none of that. It's black folks out here dying on the front line. And you talking about you don't know?
Yeah.
The rake posted a photograph with a police officer with his neck on the Statue of Liberty. Where that shit happening at? I only see black people. I don't see no Statue of Liberty being harassed by a police officer. I only see black folks.
Yeah.
So why would you post that? It's not happening. Stop with the lukewarm messages, please. And I wish a lot of people would just stop. They'd be better off not saying anything. As a black person, I know what fake love feel like because I've walked in establishments and outperformed everyone. So I know what fake love feels like. I know what it feels like. You know? And you know, it's very important to me. And I want people to understand. If you're going to do business, if you're not going to do business with the person of your community, do business with the person that can understand your circumstance, a person that is willing to empathize with you, a person that is willing to sit down and listen to you, not tell you how to have your problem or how to handle your problem that they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. It's nuts. It's nuts.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. Like that whole week, bro, was just such an eye-opener for me. And that's why all of a sudden a lot of these publications are starting to try and be appealed to black people now, because that week we went hard and we had over 100 people cancel subscriptions. Literally. Yeah, we did a campaign. If you can't speak out against it, then cancel the subscription. That's why all of a sudden y'all starting to see black people come out of nowhere. I've seen Sammy Davis Jr. more in the last 2 weeks than I've seen in my whole life on other pages.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? People are now starting to see it, because at the end of the day, when black people stop buying your shit, then you want to straighten up and do the right thing. That's what's going on. It has nothing to do with people caring about my culture, they don't give a damn about Sammy Davis Jr. It's a bottom line factor. We're all businessmen and we know how it works.
Yeah. If we don't do this, we'll lose.
If we don't,
X.
exactly.
Yeah.
In addition to what they probably lost, sending lukewarm messages and half-assing, commenting on things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But here I look, I look on the page here, and you all are speaking out against what's going on. That's what I need.
Yeah.
So when people look at me like I'm crazy, they could be like, well, nah, I mean, the brothers at Inherent, they're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's nuts, man. But I encourage people to do business with individuals that can understand your community's circumstances. Why would you patronize someone?
Or want to,
right. Like he said, or want to, because a lot of the people overseas don't even want to.
Yeah.
I added Rubinacci. He read everything I said. I looked at it when I looked at it. He read Suit Supply read everything I said. And more importantly, I didn't want a response. I just wanted them to know that there actually is a brother out here calling you on your bullshit.
Yeah.
And if you don't stop, we have a publication to speak on it in a more extended version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Black people, that's what I'm saying. With what I'm doing now, I'm educating people on what's going on. I'm telling people to go spend their money in a place with someone that gives a damn about them.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that he doesn't care about, you cannot tell me he don't care about his customers, man. He's built a concept on mental health. He gives a damn.
Yeah.
Because of his experiences. You understand what I'm saying? This is very serious. This shit is in his heart for him to do that.
Yeah.
The first time I talked to this man, we had we was on the phone for 90 minutes. We weren't even talking about clothes. We had a serious conversation about mental health.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's what people have to listen. And I'm not bragging. God has blessed me in the past few months to where people are reaching out a lot for my services. But I was explaining to him, for me, it's not about the money. I don't care about, it's not about the money.
Yeah.
I want to work with good people. That's really what I'm concerned about, man.
Yeah.
I've had many people reach out to me that we don't have a lot of the same views as far as, a lot of the things are going out, and I'm not working with them.
Yeah.
I don't care about money that bad, man. These issues are bigger, man. It's brothers and sisters out here dealing with things every day. And I think if all you have to offer someone is a suit, you are doing yourself a disservice and you need to get out the game. If all you can do is sell me a VBC fabric, that's some bullshit. And you're wasting people's time, man.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm gonna buy a $2,000 suit for you. I'm gonna buy a suit worth $2,000 from you. But when I got there's no programs, and we all know a lot of times, as far as mental illness and personal internal battles, a lot of times that's more common in the wealthier community.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yep. More money, more problems.
More money, more problems. People got company. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, all day.
So y'all selling people $2,500 suits, $3,000 suits, and there's no programs to where they can come and talk when they got a problem.
Right.
It's a joke, man.
Yeah, that's essentially handing someone a golden bow and saying, fuck yourself.
Right. It's a nice way of saying go fuck yourself, but it's with a bow.
Yeah.
And it's nicely wrapped.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man. It's like I said, I view menswear different. For me, it is more than just a garment. Yeah. It's more than just a suit for me. And it's more than just fancy names. Yeah. It's more than Lord Piana. It's more than that for me. If we aren't helping people from an internal standpoint, why are we really here? Like real talk, man. What are you here for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all know you feel confident when you look good.
Sure.
What you look like has a lot to do with your confidence.
Yeah. But what are you going to do with that confidence?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's a huge question. Like, okay, like next step, you get a suit, you feel great.
Yep.
What now?
Yeah.
Now you overcome all the bullshit in your life.
That's
what I did.
This is what's even more interesting to me, and which is a common question that I ask people nowadays. Because a lot of times, the next step is, in most cases now, and it's dwindling down because the market was so oversaturated, a lot of times is the right, you know what the real question is most times? Why did you buy a suit from that guy? That's the real question. Why did you even buy a suit from him? Because he has no clue what he's doing. Why did you go there?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know first. Then we can get to how bad your suit fits. Because he just started fitting a year ago. He doesn't know anything about fitting. Yep. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just that's just the industry now, unfortunately.
And there's a way to educate too. Like I would say, not a disagreement at all, but I'm just saying like, hey, if you don't know though, like that this is a bad suit,
right?
Like, and it still like pushed you to the next level. Like that's a great starting place.
Sure.
And there's no love lost there. But it's just, if you stay there, just like you said, for a couple years, then it's like, hey, like, are you actually trying? Like, what are you trying to do? You know?
I mean, bro, no, 100%. And, that's one of the down things about social media, because people have the ability now through social media to kind of manipulate their services and a lot of times their resume, a lot of people, you can kind of do that with Instagram now. So, a lot of guys have gone and, done a made to measure or a custom transaction and it didn't turn out right. It was a lot of money. The suit didn't fit right, whatever the case may be. But I mean, like you said, man, at the end of the day, if you aren't really helping people internally, and clothing does that. Yep. It does that. If you aren't helping people internally, then, why are you really in the business, man? Like, what's your real walk? What are you really here for? What's your mission statement? What's your purpose? You have all of that. You have a mission statement. And it's not some watered down bullshit slogan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's real. It's about being confident, about feeling good, talking about your mental illness, opposed to something, we clean up well. Just some stupid shit that people do now. It's like just some terrible marketing.
Yeah.
A lot of times with these type of situations, that is the marketing. The marketing can be good because it's more help involved. It's not about sales. And again, that's the main reason why I was excited to come here and be a part of it, because I more so want to work with people who are interested in really helping people, not people that are just trying to sell someone a suit and have them come back next month and have them come back. No, that's dead.
Yeah.
I only want to work with people that have purposes in life, and then we can really be impactful to the culture and the world together, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah. That's how you really affect it, getting with like-minded people, opposed to me just trying to working with more people that have made the industry what it is now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just a saturated place that, I mean, like, you got to think about it, man. Custom now, it's so much of a saturated market. Made to measure and custom, depending on who you're buying from, can mean 3 different things now.
Yeah.
You got to ask people, what does your custom consist of? Yeah. You have to ask real questions now, because so many people do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I love what's going on here. The mindset is good. And when people see this, I want people to see this so they can see what's going on here. This is how you should approach what you're doing in life, with purpose. Terry Corbett says it all the time. He has a brand, it's called Purpose. He talks about that. Stop, don't be the dog chasing the car. A lot of people want to get into, menswear for superficial reasons, for likes. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yeah, man, have some meaning behind what you're doing. Be purposeful. Want to help, you have a good heart, want to help people,
Yeah.
Be kind, like you said. And the thing is, don't get me wrong, I got a 7-year-old daughter. And, to be honest with y'all gonna laugh when I tell you this, I've actually softened up a lot over the years.
For sure.
Yeah, my daughter did that to me. I've calmed down a lot, like as far as my delivery. But I mean, you see, people still got a problem with the way I talk. People still don't like it. I'm like, okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all have it.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Leave us a comment down in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.